Hello, I'm Megan Danick from the Hive with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and you're watching Tampa Bay Community Network.
Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Government. And today we have a government agency that is one that we've all used, and it's open to everyone, and that's the Hillsborough County Libraries. And we have also with us Megan Danick. And Megan, you're the chief librarian and also the manager of the Hive.
That's correct. Thank you so much for having me today.
I was over there and was exposed to the Hive and the Hive concept. And I think this is something every one of you are going to listen to, because there's so many things that are there that you can use in your everyday life.
That's correct, Bill. The Hive is a public makerspace. We're located on the 3rd floor of the John F. Germany Library, and soon we'll be expanding services to several of our library locations throughout Hillsborough County.
Actually, you already have to a certain extent.
That's true. Down at the South Shore Regional Library, we already have a Hive recording studio, and a lot of our programming, for example, 3D printing, robotics, and some of the other exciting programs that we lead at the Hive, we've started doing at some of our branch locations.
Well, to be honest with you, I love to do video. And not just, usually I get to sit in front of the camera, not behind it. I don't get to do the editing and all that sort of stuff. And so I decided after almost, 1980, 84, somewhere in there when I started this, I decided maybe I ought to learn some of the behind the camera things. And so I went to one of your classes, and that was very interesting. The young man, Shelby, was it?
Probably so, yes.
Very interesting guy, nice guy. And then I went over and started using the green room, which is actually a green room, green walled room over there that Sydney, your aide or your librarian over at the South Shore County Library, helped me with. And all in all, it's been a wonderful experience, and we saw so many more things that are available. So let's talk about some of the programs that people can go to the Hive downtown, and maybe that will be expanding out.
Absolutely. Well, we have several different spaces, and we teach classes on a variety of different topics. As you mentioned, the recording studio, that's one of our more popular spaces. Anyone with a library card can book time in the studio. And we do teach classes on audio video production. We have open houses in the studio, so people can really see the range of things that they can accomplish in that space. But we also have a lot of different spaces for different kinds of hands-on creation. Learn, make, and create is sort of our motto up there.
I bet it is.
Yes. So we have an art center, we have, which features sewing machines, we have a paper and vinyl cutter that people are welcome to come and use. Again, you just need a library card. We've led a lot of classes in those arenas as well. They're very popular. We also offer 3D printing and other fabrication machines and things that people can do. For example, we have a CNC router available. We also have circuit boards and different electronics that folks can tinker with. So we really have a wide array of different types of making programs that people can come in and they can do for free.
I love that number, free. That's
Yes.
one of my favorite numbers. I'll tell you, when I got there, I was looking and I was saying, yeah, this would be really nice, but I can't afford the software it takes. For instance, the Adobe CC program. That's $800–900 worth of software, and I can't afford to do that. But I don't have to, do I?
That's correct. We have Adobe Creative Cloud available not just at the Hive downtown, but at several of our other locations. So you're welcome to come in, use a computer, and use programs like Photoshop and InDesign, Premiere for video editing. It is very powerful software, and as you mentioned, expensive, but we do offer that for free. We also offer classes for folks to learn how to use these pieces of software for whatever it is that they're working on.
Big difference between Movie Maker, if you're into doing videos, big difference between that and Adobe CC.
Oh, yes.
There's tremendous difference. Premiere with all the different capabilities. And it'd be sort of like if you already know how to drive, and then they put you in the cockpit of an F-17 or one of the major fighter aircraft. It would be a whole different experience.
That's absolutely true. A lot of these programs are very robust. They do have a learning curve, but that's one of the things that's very exciting about the library offering this availability. We're empowering people to come in and do it yourself and try it yourself. We like to think of the Hive as sort of a fail-free environment. You're not being graded. Come on in. If you've always wanted to try video production or audio production, that's fine. You're a novice, that's fine. Come on in, use the equipment,
Do you
learn
have
to
classes
use it.
at all levels then, Megan?
We do, and we're constantly expanding our curriculum. So we've started out with a lot of the basics, and we're now moving on to include more advanced classes as well.
What does all this cost?
Again, this is all free with your library card.
Free?
That's right.
No charges for the classes even?
No charges at all. We
If I
do
want to sit there for 4 or 5 hours working on one of your computers on using one of the Adobe programs, there's no charge on that?
No charge at all. It is as available, so you might not be able to use it for 4 hours at a time, but we definitely encourage you to come in and you can sit down and work on your projects, and it doesn't cost a thing.
But you can schedule time, correct?
Absolutely, yes. You can currently, especially at the Hive downtown, contact us with your library card and you can book a block of time to work on your projects.
What if I get there and I really don't understand what I thought I did? Is there anyone to help me?
Yes, we have staff available. They're able to get you started on projects and troubleshoot some issues if you're having those. We also really encourage use of some of our resources. After all, we are a library. We have an array of wonderful resources, one of those being lynda.com. And we really promote that as a wonderful self-paced sort of resource that you can use to learn a lot of these new, again, powerful pieces of software.
That particular one I'm reasonably aware of, and I think it's, if you wanted to have it at the house, it's like $25 a month.
That's true, but through the library, again, you can actually use that subscription service for free.
There goes that word again, for free.
I know, I can't say it enough, but it's true. It's wonderful that it's available for all of the citizens of Hillsborough County.
Well, we live in Sun City Center, and there's really a lot of intelligent people out there, and many of them are retired, and some have been retired for a lot of years. And having a free facility like that is very important. I know our friend John Bowker is very, very active in the Friends of the Library.
Oh, yes.
And many of our people are. But it's a nice return to be able to go over and use this equipment.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad that you mentioned the Friends of the Library because they are staunch supporters of the Hive, and they've been really instrumental in helping us get a lot of these programs off and running. Thanks to their hard efforts, we've been able to actually provide a lot of the equipment that you'll see being used in the Hive and in many of our programs.
Well, our Toastmasters Club also uses the room, the meeting room,
yes,
over there at the South Shore Library. Many of them have these meeting rooms. With this, are we going to lose any of those rooms when you expand the Hive?
You know, not really. What we're doing as we're expanding the Hive, we're really looking at ways of keeping things flexible. And you'll notice that in many of our spaces, in many of our new expanded libraries and rebuilt libraries, the space planning's been sort of rethought so that we can use different meeting spaces for a multitude of purposes. A lot of our programs can take place in a meeting room, but we've actually been hosting pop-up Hive events, as we call them, at some of our branch locations.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and we've been sometimes presenting the programming right on the floor, right on the public floor. So we're really looking to be able to keep the space usable in a way that's both in demand by the public as well as helps these really new and exciting efforts. So
when I had your new director on the show here a couple months ago, I was so impressed with his change. I don't know whether it's his change of attitude, but the change of attitude towards the library. When you think of a library, you think of somebody saying, shh, shh. And he said, no, we're changing that so that the open area, the common area, if you will, is an activity area. Mm-hmm. And we've built all these rooms along the side that people can go in if they need quiet to read a book or read a magazine or whatever they're going to do. Kind of flip-flops the whole idea of libraries.
That's very true. We have expanded study spaces, and really the library is what, is the people's library. It's what they tell us they want to see. And we do see a lot more of people working together on the public floor, using the technology together. So we're trying to be, we're trying to meet the needs of both of those users.
I think you're doing it very well.
Great.
And I really love, the library is one of the best things. My wife uses the library out in Sun City Center, so do I. We've got a great librarian out there in our little library, but it's nice to have that big South Shore library right there where we can go to it, the regional library, and pick up all these things. Let's go back to, we've talked a little bit about doing film and film production. And by the way, if you do understand what green screen is, they've got a beautiful green screen set up where you can set it up, shoot everything you want, and then go look for some backgrounds. And that's what my friend and I are doing now, is shooting backgrounds from different places.
Wonderful.
But there are many, many other things in the Hive. So let's talk about those for a minute. And let's talk about 3D printing.
Absolutely. 3D printing is tremendously popular. Of course, 3D printing technology has really come along, especially in the last few years. There are even models on the market for individual use. Essentially, what a 3D printer does is it takes a design file, sort of like a CAD file that someone has created, and actually prints out the object.
So computer-aided design, right?
Correct.
CAD, C-A-D?
That is, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And
you techies, you get into the...
You have to keep me honest. Keep me away from the jargon for sure.
There you go.
But yeah, you can design pretty much any object. We've seen such an array of designs that people have asked to be printed. And we actually teach classes. If you don't know what CAD is or don't know how to do that sort of online 3D modeling, we do teach classes for the public using an array of free and web-based technology.
There's that word again.
That's right. That way they can continue the lesson at home. So we sort of give people the tools to learn to do their own 3D modeling, and then they can expand on that knowledge.
If I wanted to make a cup.
Sure.
Like that. I had it in my mind, I'd like to have a cup like this. What would I do?
Well, I would recommend coming to one of our 3D modeling classes.
Okay.
We'll teach you how to work. We start with a piece of software called Tinkercad, which is free.
Okay.
And it teaches you how to navigate and put shapes together in
and all
order
of
to
this
create.
is on your computers, correct?
Oh yes,
okay.
Absolutely. We could teach you to make a model of the cup that you would like. And then once you've achieved that, once you have the model and you think it looks good, we actually have a 3D printing service. And again, it's free for all Hillsborough County Library card holders. You can actually send us a copy of your 3D modeled file and we'll print it out for you.
Oh, I don't even have to be there to see it print out?
You don't have to. You're welcome to. You're welcome to come and take a look.
Really?
Absolutely. But we will print it out and then we'll let you know when it's ready.
What is the requirement as far as types of material that you can make something out of?
Well, there's 3D printers that work in a wide variety of different materials. The ones that we have, we use, it basically prints in plastic. It's called PLA plastic.
Okay.
It's corn-based, actually, and it's safe. It's a very safe material to be working with. So we're sort of limited right now in terms of what we can print in. I know there are other places that can print in glass and in all kinds of different materials, but we'll print in plastic. In terms of requirement, essentially as long as it fits on our build plate, which is about 1 foot long,
Okay.
It'll work for us. We do have a time limit. We limit all the Hillsborough County card holders. You have 4 hours of 3D print time per month available to you as available. And we do keep a queue. So, we try to work through everybody's prints as quickly as we can. But we do limit it by time because 3D printing can be a time-consuming process. So.
Should I bring my own flash drive? I mean, if I'm doing work on your computer and I don't get it done, I should bring a flash drive or something to be able to take it off so I can carry it with me?
Absolutely.
'Cause I certainly can't. You can't store everybody's stuff, I wouldn't think.
That's true. We do recommend that customers bring a flash drive or your own storage. With a 3D design file, you can often also email it to yourself. So we have that available option as well.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So if I'm an inventor and I have an idea for something, I can go ahead and make it.
Absolutely. And we have had folks in the business community print prototypes and just models of different products or pieces of products that they're working on. We actually have the Tampa Bay Inventors Council meets in the Hive once a month.
Oh,
and
really?
That's correct. And we've had a lot of interest from them in particular about that.
Well, see, I wasn't even aware there was a Tampa Bay Inventors Council.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So by going down to the Hive, you folks can really put me in touch with other people of like mind. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. And that's long been the library tradition, you know, the reference part, but also the referral part. And we've been very fortunate in starting the Hive that we've been able to connect with so many people in so many different spaces, including inventing and technology. So we can absolutely put you in contact with like-minded folks who might be working in the same space. That's definitely something that we provide as well.
I've often thought there was some things that I would like to design and create a prototype of in order to be able to send it off and have made. It would seem to me this would be something you could do that particular thing with, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And see whether you liked it before you send it off to buy more. Maybe a pin even.
Exactly, you could do a pin. A lot of people do wearables, jewelry, things like that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. We've seen such an amazing variety of objects that folks have requested to print. Again, anything from prototypes to family use. We had one family kind of pool their 3D print time to create their own customized chess kit that they can play chess together.
Oh, would that be neat?
Yeah.
Little figurines of each individual in the family.
Yes,
huh?
yes. We've had folks print their own action figures. We've had folks print, again, their own inventions. Kids come up with some of the best things. We had one boy who his mother makes her own soap. She's also a maker. So he 3D printed a stamp with her logo on it and a little soap dish that she could keep her soap on. So, you know, we just see such an array, and it never ceases to amaze me how creative people can get with their designs.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. There are other things that are out there too. One of them I want to do is I want to cut a new sign for my front yard to put on my, instead of just the regular old metal sign that has our name on it.
Sure.
I'd like to do something fancy with that. How would I go about doing that? Because that's an entirely different machine, right?
That's correct.
I think you said CNC, but let's tell them what that means.
Absolutely. It's computerized numerical control is, I believe, what CNC means, but it's a router, essentially. And what
it's CNC,
CNC.
not CNC.
No.
All right. See?
There
I
you
learned
go.
something.
That's right. It's a router, and essentially what you do is, again, create a digital design file of whatever it is, whatever pattern or whatever shape it is that you'd like to carve. The build plate it's not a tremendous size, but you can work with wood, you can work with metal, you can work with all different sorts of materials to carve or etch a design into whatever it is that you're using. So again, we've seen a wide variety. We have had folks do decorative plaques. We had one gentleman try to make a circuit, actually, to etch a circuit into a piece of copper. So you can get very precise in terms of what your product looks like. So you're welcome to come and carve a sign. That would be a perfect use of that. And we're happy to help. Again, we do have staff available.
What kind of media do you say it could be done on wood, different types of things? Plywood?
Yes, absolutely. It just depends on how thick you would like your piece to be.
Okay.
We do have different pieces. It comes with different bits and different types of carving apparatus that go on the machine. So, and through the computerized aspect, you can say how deep you want to go, if you want to actually drill through or just carve lightly. There's all different kinds of settings. So,
for those of you that have not seen a router, it's a device that has a spinning head on it, and you lay it down on wood, and you can move it around like that, and it'll carve out wherever you move it. Or you can make, anybody that's seen any kind of molding that's made on a router, they take a square piece of wood, then cut out the part that isn't there. So this would give us the opportunity, if I had some artwork. How fancy does the art, is there special artwork for this? Or if I drew something out on a piece of paper, what do I have to have in order to make this work?
As long as the file's digital. So you can do a drawing, and it's interesting because we've actually used the
all it has to be is a digital picture?
A digital picture, and we'll help you sort of get it into the format that it needs to be. But we created a piece using the 3D printer, as a matter of fact, to actually be able to put different sorts of materials on where the drill part goes. Mm-hmm. So we've actually done computerized drawing. We made a holder for a pen and ink and that sort of thing. So we've had folks who've taken their drawing, and as an experiment, they've made it draw by computer the same drawing on the paper. So it's really interesting to watch. Yeah. But it's really what you make it. Again, we've seen the imagination of the public run wild with a lot of the different materials that we have in the Hive. So if there's something you'd like to try, we always welcome folks to come and test out their projects with us.
So if someone brought in a piece of pine, 12 by 12,
sure,
whatever picture they brought, the digital picture they brought in with it, they could actually carve on the piece of wood?
Absolutely. And
within reason, obviously?
Within reason, it's true. We have a lot of samples at the Hive, and we'll try to provide some pictures as well, so you can see some folks have done different logos, sports logos, and it really is impressive, the accuracy and the detail that you can get.
All right, we've looked at film, we've looked at CAD/CAM, and we've looked at CNC.
Yes.
All right. What other things would I find if I came to the Hive?
Well, one of the most popular pieces of equipment that we have are actually sewing machines.
Sewing machines?
Absolutely.
All right.
We have been leading sewing classes. 2 of the librarians actually lead the classes.
Really?
Yes, and they're very popular. And what's really interesting is, we've seen a new audience for sewing. A lot of people would say, oh, my mom did that, or I've always wanted to learn to sew. That's something we hear a lot. I think there's really a undercurrent of DIY and industriousness that folks have now, that we've seen this resurgence of folks who want to learn how to sew. And we have all ages, all demographics come to our classes. We have families come to our classes together. We have one family, it's 3 different generations. And they want to make everything from costumes. Of course, we just had folks making Halloween costumes. We've had folks come in and book time with the sewing machine. They already know how to use it, but maybe they don't have one at home. So they'll come to the Hive and book some time on the sewing machine to work on projects. I would say that that's another one of our really popular resources, and another resource that we will be rolling out to our other branch locations as well.
So people could come and make their own dress?
Absolutely.
You have classes on it so they know how to use patterns and so forth?
That's right. We kind of rotate the different topics of the classes. We actually just finished a 3-part series on dressmaking.
My wife, when we first were married, I saw her as a highly effective executive, one who handled technical problems, communication, all kinds of great things. But I did not see her as being someone with the domestic skills of sewing. We decided that we needed, or she decided, I didn't say, that we needed a valance made. And so we went and we found this material. It was fairly expensive. And I thought to myself, who's going to make this? She said, I am. I thought, oh, there goes that all that expensive material. But she did a fabulous job on it, going back and thinking about all the sewing she'd done in the past. And I'm wondering if there aren't a lot of people sitting out there today who haven't used the new machines, they're not up to speed, they haven't used a pattern, who would benefit by coming to those classes.
Absolutely. It's a labor of love for the librarians who teach those classes, and everybody who comes is so enthusiastic. And again, we really welcome folks at all skill levels. We want to be able to encourage folks who are new to all of these different areas to just take a chance, try something. Again, it's fortunate that the programs are free. You can come in, you can learn something new, and who knows where it will lead you. Maybe the next fashion designer will get their start at the Hive.
Well, to keep it free, though, can you have professional staff teaching each of these things, or do you use some volunteers?
We use volunteers as well. We have a lot of community-led programs. A wonderful example of that, more on the tech side, but we work with a program called Coder Dojo, and they they actually teach kids how to do computer programming.
Wow.
Yes, and it's completely volunteer run. It's different professionals who are giving their time to teach kids these 21st century skills that'll be so important, as they get older and go out to the workplace. So even for things like sewing, we definitely welcome community volunteers. Again, we have programs at a lot of our branches, and we actually have a lot of sewers and knitters who are already meeting at our branch locations. So we're definitely hoping to use the expertise of the community to help other community members learn these new skills.
That sounds like a great opportunity for many of the people. Like I say, I'm so proud of the Sun City Center area because these people volunteer on just about everything, and they've got so much expertise that it's great to have them out there doing something with it.
Absolutely, they're tremendous. And again, our Friends of the Library group, they are all volunteers as well. So we really, really depend on our volunteers, and they really enrich the experience and make it just so much better for our users.
We've got about a minute left.
All right.
What have we missed?
Oh, goodness.
And I know you can't pack it all into a minute.
Well, there's so much to share. I would recommend everyone go to hcplc.org to get more information. You can go to our event calendar for all of the events and classes that we've lead and that I've missed. Again, everything from graphic design in Adobe to film and video and audio editing, robotics programs, the sewing programs, all of that information is available online.
I think I like the visualization of the Hive. I don't know whether that's something nationally that's been picked up or whether it was something we did locally, but all of these things tend to fit together.
They do. It's funny because the inspiration for calling it the Hive actually came from the architecture of the John F. Germany Library. We actually have a feature around the building, which is a hexagonal shape. It looks like a beehive, but it really does lend itself to that kind of activity. Again, creating a buzz, collaborating, working together, and really, again, making something new and exciting.
Well, Megan, you can be sure that I'm going to be down there. I absolutely love the Hive. I love the Hive concept. I appreciate Sydney and all the other people who've helped. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bill Hodges. This is Spotlight on Government. We've had Megan Danick with us, who is the inspiration down at the Hive. She's the manager of the Hive area. She's a librarian with the Hillsborough County Library. And you're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell yourself so often because you are, And Megan, thanks so much for being with us. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, see you on the next show.